I ask that you each join me in welcoming, thanking, and congratulating Rod Gould.
Thank you. That's too much. And thank you, Tom, and thank you, Mayor. And thanks to SGI for hosting this event for the third year. This auditorium is a community asset, is it not? And I also want to thank Robin G. and City TV for the images that you'll be seeing this morning. It struck me on my way over that when I began giving these talks 5 years ago, I had dark hair and I could read the script without my glasses. Things have changed. But these past 5 years have been some of the most exciting, demanding, and rewarding of my career. From the time I began to research this city through today, I am fascinated by Santa Monica in all its kaleidoscopic aspects. In parting, I offer a few observations. Number one, Santa Monica is thriving on many levels. All the basic indicators are there. Commercial activity, land prices, rents, and hotel room rates and occupancy are all well up over regional averages. Unemployment, office vacancy, foreclosures, and short sales are all way down. Financially, the city is solid despite the loss of redevelopment. Santa Monica enjoys balanced budgets, clean audits, increased reserves, labor peace, paying down pension and health care liabilities, and its AAA bond rating. High-quality schools and a premier community college benefit the community in a multitude of ways. Crime is at 1950s levels, and homelessness is also down over 5 years. The fire department is Class 1, and the library system is 5 stars, putting them at the top 1% in the country. 7.3 million people visited Santa Monica last year and spent $1.63 billion in town. The last biannual residential satisfaction survey noted that 92% of residents rate Santa Monica as a good place to live. This fact may have not been completely evident in last year's election season. Number two, Santa Monica is embracing the new century and setting itself up for success in the future by making long-term civic investments that will serve this community well in the 21st century. You know this list. Expo light rail linkage to greater Los Angeles area. Adding open space with Tongva Park, Ken Genser Square, and soon the Buffer Park. Rebuilding the California Incline. Building excellent public spaces and facilities like the Esplanade, Pico Branch Library, University Accessible Playground, Fire Station Number 1, Parking Structure 6, Early Childhood Education Center, and City Services Building. Renewing the Pier Bridge, and city yards, making infrastructure maintenance a top priority to get the greatest safety and useful life out of streets, sidewalks, streetlights, water, sewer, and stormwater systems, parks, public facilities, and the urban forest. Significant private and public-private reinvestments will create a more livable and complete cities, such as the Courtyard by Marriott, Hampton Inn & Suites, and the 710 Wilshire Hotels. Fourth in Arizona mixed-use development, Bergamot Art Center renewal, Ocean Park Green Street, Olympic Avenue extension, and Michigan Avenue Neighborhood Greenway, Cineplexes at Santa Monica Place and on 4th Street, and 500 Broadway mixed housing food market project. Santa Monica is also making large investments in human capital through extraordinary revenue sharing with schools, Cradle to Career and Youth Resource Team initiatives to ensure the success of all young people in Santa Monica, expanded senior services in partnership with Wise and Healthy Aging, leading-edge services for homeless people through the proven Housing First model, and the world's first well-being index to inform public policy. The city is using advanced techniques to moderate the region's greatest drawback, traffic congestion, through synchronizing traffic signals, traffic reduction requirements for employers and development projects, safe routes to school, temporary and potentially permanent changes to downtown streets, such as Go with the Flow last summer, and one-way streets being studied now as part of the downtown specific plan. and as the mayor mentioned, providing safe, cheap, and convenient alternatives to driving alone. Lastly, our city is focused on big-picture public safety improvements by investing in state-of-the-art emergency preparedness, pilot projects in community paramedicine, unified fire and police dispatch, seismic safety retrofitting, and the pedestrian action plan. Number 3, facts matter. To say that the community has had a spirited debate over development and traffic in the last decade is a vast understatement. Overdevelopment and gridlock are perhaps the two most commonly used descriptors in the media and public forums. Now, while it is absolutely correct for Santa Monicans to be very concerned about new development in this compact and highly attractive cities, as well as demand that government find ways to reduce the number of solo drivers on city streets, it's important that these discussions be fact-based and grounded in reality. Here are a few facts that may enhance the debate and the policy discussions that spring from it. First, Santa Monica's population has not grown greatly over the past 50 years. Its population stood at 83,249 in 1960, and it was 92,185 in 2014. That's 10.7% growth over 50 years. That's 0.2% per year. However, the common narrative is that there's been an explosion in commercial growth in recent years that has swamped our streets with commuters. Here are the facts. In 2008, Measure T sought to limit expansion of commercial space in Santa Monica to 75,000 square feet a year for 15 years. It ultimately failed. Yet over the last 12 years, non-residential construction has averaged 67,000 square feet per year, which is less than would have allowed under Measure T. You have to go back to the 1980s to identify large office projects in Santa Monica. Today, there is greater interest in hotel development than commercial office, retail, or medical office projects. Only 6% of the proposed development in the pipeline is general office. Yes, but what about all that hotel development? It threatens our skyline and visitors further congest our streets. Actually, there hasn't been new hotels developed in Santa Monica in the last decade. The Shore Hotel replaced an existing hotel. The mid-priced OTO hotels will replace office and auto service uses, and the 710 Wilshire Hotel will reuse an existing landmarked office building. 2 of the 3 Ocean Avenue hotel proposals are replacement for existing hotels. And yes, there are more visitors in Santa Monica, but 80% walk or use transit to get around once they arrive. This trend will increase with the coming of better bus routes in Expo, as well as bike and car sharing. So, despite the minuscule population increases, many view the problem as growth in housing and mixed-use projects, which has been particularly evident since the adoption in 2010 of the Land Use and Circulation Element, or LUCE. Answer: while this type of development is often cited as a community concern, residential and mixed-use activity permitted since the LUCE is much less than in previous years. In the 4 years since the LUCE was adopted, the number of multifamily projects approved and issued building permits is 79% fewer than between 2003 and 2007. Further, the number of residential units approved by the City Council fell 55% in the same period. While it seems to be happening all at once, many of the projects that are a source of local consternation were approved years ago and then put on hold during the recession and the 6.5-year debate over the LUCE. Since the LUCE adoption, 87% of the housing built has occurred in the downtown and not in neighborhoods. So let's discuss the issue of traffic congestion. People argue it's gotten much worse in recent years. Santa Monica is part of a region that has bet heavily on automotive technology and infrastructure for 75 years and became known as the car capital of the world. As such, traffic in parts of the west side can be nightmarish at certain times of the day. However, Santa Monica's vehicle counts are down from a peak in 2007. In 2013, traffic counts were 19% lower than in 2007 and almost 2% lower than in 2011. The greatest economic decline since the Great Depression had a lot to do with this, but the city's efforts to offer alternative means of getting around have also helped. The average number of people and vehicles citywide is slightly increasing, and the total miles these vehicles travel is modestly decreasing. Moreover, greenhouse gas emissions are substantially lower than in 2008. Digging a little deeper, it appears that commuters citywide are driving less and using transit more. And while residents do bike more frequently, they are actually driving slightly more often and walking less often than before. These trends warrant scrutiny. The Economist magazine ranks the livability of cities all over the globe each year, and all the top-ranked cities suffer major traffic congestion, but all provide robust alternatives to driving alone. This is Santa Monica's present challenge and future reality. A little patience along the way would be helpful. Well then, what about all of the renters who are being forced out of their homes since the lease was adopted? The truth is that far less residential properties have been withdrawn from the rental market since the adoption of the lease in 2010 than previously. Rent control units vacated under Ellis Act during the 4-year post-lease period were 71% less than between 2003 and 2007. Well, how about the loss of all the historically significant buildings in Santa Monica as a result of the overdevelopment? Again, the fact is that more historical and character-defining buildings have been preserved since the adoption of the lease. Between 2010 and 2014, the city has landmarked an additional 20 buildings, including 8 residential structures. Last year, Santa Monica was the only city in the region to get a perfect score from the LA Conservancy. None of this is to say that Santa Monica shouldn't be concerned about development and traffic, but it is to say, as the mayor suggests, that the debate should begin with facts and data. Last point, a few hopes for Santa Monica going forward. Local government is the only institution dedicated to presenting the full spectrum of political opinion, and Santa Monica is rightfully known for high levels of civic participation. Yet too often the public discourse is dominated by the loudest, and other voices are muted or missing altogether. I hope that Santa Monica will continue to experiment with different ways to engage the widest range of its citizenry on issues that affect the community. The trick is to get everyone into the act and still get action. Further civic engagement must ask residents to come with solutions and not just complaints. Moreover, I invite Santa Monicans to rediscover their city with its virtually endless opportunities for art, culture, education, service, sports, fitness, civic engagement, friendship, beauty, and wonder. Please vigorously and respectfully debate the issues while avoiding personal attacks and demonization. Insist on fact-based discussions and give others the benefit of the doubt, including your city government. Redouble Santa Monica's commitment to sustainability writ large. Meet the needs of current generations without compromising those of future generations. Think of the city's sustainability in terms of the environment, economy, social equity, as well as financially and organizationally. Think, plan, and legislate for the long term. Consider the policy implications of various actions in the middle and distant future. Consider how they will affect 3 generations. Meet the requirements of the Athenian Code to leave the city better and more livable than you found it. Many observers are concluding that the future of civilization depends on cities worldwide. Progress and innovations are driven less by nation states and more often by cities. Indeed, we are fast becoming a planet of civic laboratories known as cities. Few cities can match the talents, resources, and assets of Santa Monica. Don't be afraid to experiment, innovate, stretch, and take risks. Set great goals. Don't punish failures, learn from them, and celebrate successes. In these ways, Santa Monica can fill its promise and potential as a game changer in the region, state, nation, and beyond. Thank you.